What up, world? It's your boy Big Willie, aka the Pack. And today, I wanted to show off for Deck Tech Fridays. Wanted to show off a deck that's really near and dear to my heart. I hope y'all are having a great day. As always, I am blessed and happy to see you. Oh my goodness! So this deck is called "I Want to Ball with the Wraith." And not gonna lie, it was an inspiration from a song by T.I. called Wraith, who was shown to me by one of my nearest and dearest friends, AR Platinum. If you haven't seen him, y'all need to go check him out. Like, that's my dude. That dude has helped me out so much. And I was like, man, I'm like, yo, like this song is jamming. And I was sitting there thinking because like by the time I heard the song, it was not too far after Lord of the Rings came out. And I was like, oh snap. Bro, I'm gonna do something with this, like watch. And we did it. So the commander of this deck is Lord of the Nazgul, who is flying 4/3 for 5. That's 3, a blue and a black. Um, Wraiths you control have protection from ring bearers. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 3/3 black Wraith token with menace. Then, if you control 9 or more Wraiths, then Wraiths you control have base power and toughness 9/9 until end of turn. So the whole deal is to litter the field with Wraiths by playing several instants and sorceries, have stuff that like gets us through and lets us do the thing, and just dominate the field with Wraiths. It's very Lord of the Rings inspired. We're running like a lot of the Lord of the Rings usual suspects in black and blue. But let's go ahead and run through the gamut. Now, of course, we're going through artifacts, and y'all see a Chroma's Memorial. That's like perfect finisher for a flood the field type deck. Like the card is just, it does everything you need it to do. We got Arcane Signet, Blade of Selves. Now, Blade of Selves is very interesting, especially with a Nazgul, because in a 4-player game, if you have that on a Nazgul, which we have 9 Nazgul in the deck, because you could have 9 Nazgul in the deck. But each time it enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. And if you have Blade of Selves on it, whenever you attack, it's going to send a token at each opponent, which means they ETB and the ring temps. And it also says whenever the ring temps, put a +1/+1 counter on each Wraith you control, which all 3 of them in a 4-player game, because you'll have the original one with the Blade of Selves and the 2 tokens, will all see the 2 temps. So it's going to be 3 +1/+1 counters a piece per tempt, because you have 3 of them, if not more, you know. So like you're getting 6+6+6 off of just attacking with one dude with Blade of Cells, and you go down 2 levels of the ring. I mean, it's pretty nutty. It's nutty. Door of Destinies. We're playing Wraith Tribal, so tribal decks. Hey, let's go. Lightning Greaves, you already know. Maskwood Nexus for all my non-Wraiths in the deck. It's great, 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 great card to give all my guys all creature types and let them get the blessings of the Wraiths. Mind Splice Apparatus. Now we are playing a little bit more instants and sorceries in the deck. So Mind Spice Apparatus is one of them, like sneaky, hey, look, I'll get it out. But then all of a sudden, like, it's been sitting there for a minute, and then late game, like stuff like Commandeers, like super cheaper, stuff like there's a bunch of big sorceries in this deck that are really good. That's going to end up being cheaper. So Mind Slice Apparatus is one of them, like little sneaky, we're going to do something. And you don't know. Maybe it might do something. It will do something because we're playing, like I said, a lot of instants and even more, not even more, but a lot of sorceries as well. Soul Ring, of course, Stone of Eric. I got to take a moment to highlight Stone of Eric specifically, because I think this is a card that a lot of people are sleeping on that does so much work in so little time. Like, it costs 1 mana. I call it budget Leyline of the Void in a sense, because Like it doesn't stop everything from going in the graveyard to get exiled, but it does stop like the main things, which are like creature deaths. Yeah, it kind of non-bows with Revel and Riches, but like that's like the only thing it non-bows with. Like everything else is like whenever an opponent's creature dies, yo, it's gone. Period. Get rid of it, and then you can sit there and remove a graveyard from the game and draw a card with it. Like late game or whenever you need it just done with and you want to do something with their creatures, like, well, it's a great card that hoes everybody except for you because it doesn't do anything to you. Talisman of Dominance, obviously. We're in blue black. It's a very good mana rock. The One Ring, it's the One Ring. We're playing a Lord of the Rings theme deck, so the One Ring, yeah, that's probably the big money in the deck. But hey, it's the One Ring. You gotta play the One Ring if you got one, you know. And around this time when I started to build this deck, bundles were prevalent, so we got a copy, and that's where my copy is. Well, one of my copies. Vanquisher's Banner, of course, Wraith Tribal. Like we're running at least 12 Wraiths in here and a lot of clones. So let's see. Now, creatures, we got Braid Zebra's a Nightmare, which is just really, really good. You know, sacrifice one of these extra rate tokens we make and just sit there and make everybody have to make some painful decisions. Brazen Bar, which doubles up as another instant or sorcery. Um, we got Canoptic Wraith, which is a Wraith that can't be blocked. And we get some Nazguls out with it, and it just starts getting pumped up, and we're just like, hey, let's go. Wraith Tribal. Clever Impersonator, let's copy something. Glassful Mimic, let's copy something else. Hullbreaker Horror, we are pretty reactive in this deck. So, why not have somebody that like helps all like my spells and just be like the reaction king? Like Hullbreaker Horror is that dude. It's gotten printed in precons now, so like if you get a chance to get that dude, like yo, that dude's almost a must play in like every situation. Mirkwood Bats, Mirkwood Bats, and whenever we get to just put some chip damage on people. Chip damage is still damage, and also whenever we sacrifice tokens because we have Revel and Riches in here, so we make treasures. The Nazgul, of course, they're like the bread and butter of the deck. Um, you can have a deck can have up to 9 cards named Nazgul, so like we play all 9. Um, I am still missing like 3 of the arts, I'm gonna say, but we're still playing 9 Nazgul in here. Like I'm just saying, personally speaking, I didn't like make all the edits and changes because some of these cards are foil, some of these cards are whatever. It's just the full list to begin with. But we're gonna go through and like really delve in one day on these decks. I'm gonna have to sit back and find some time to do it because we're stepping into this like brand new, so we're doing the thing. But Nazguls, they're bread and butter of the deck. They do everything. They're good creatures. They pump up the team. They tempt the ring. We do have ring bearers. Like it's great. Phyrexian Metamorph copies something. Clones are a thing. Sauron the Necromancer. Not only does he also make wraiths and can recycle some of my guys in my graveyard and do all sorts of stuff, but like and he's not bad. He ain't bad. He ain't bad. You know. Spark Double copies. Spark Double is amazing. Like period. Spark Double is just that good of a card. It's super good. I can't hesitate to say anything but greatness about it. It's one of the best clones ever. Witch King of Agmar, another Wraith that does some things and it's really cool. And then we've got Wonder, which his whole purpose is to die, so that way we can have all my guys flying. Um, our enchantments are interesting. We're only running 4. Rogue class, which will give us a way to give all of our guys menace that don't have menace. That's really all the vanilla creatures in the deck, except for I think like 1 or 2 already have menace, but everybody else doesn't. So it gives us an opportunity to steal our opponent's things. Road class is just really good. Heuristic study, taxes are taxes. Revel in riches, it's another alternate win condition, but it's also just a good way to just make sure like we maintain value and maintain the ability to be reactive. Call of the Ring. Now, this is one that's like, I know probably a lot of people are like, well, why? Um, but if you remember, like, hey, we're playing Nazgul in the deck, and every time the ring tempts you, they see it and they're like, hey, let's pump up the team. And this lets me do that at least once a turn. So it's not bad. And then, pay 2 life to draw a card. Not bad, not bad. Whenever your ring tempts you, you can do some gross things. Let's see. For instance, we got an offer you can't refuse. Good counterspell. Arcane Denial. Good counterspell. We have regular counterspell in here. Commandeer. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably my favorite card in Magic. Period. I have stories about this card specifically, but like this card, when Cold Snap came out, Thrumming Stone was the card I wanted the most. But then I saw this card and I was like, oh, this lets me steal anything. Not even gonna lie, that is the main reason I still play Living in Modern, because now Living In is like blue, black, or whatever, or blue and other colors. It's like blue, green, and stuff. Like Commandeer is just one of them cards nobody expects, and I've like literally like at a Grand Prix back before extended turn to Modern, because I played Hypergenesis then. Um, buddy of mine was telling me I am bad for playing that card. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's gonna save me out of nowhere. And I was playing against this dude, and I already like it was like a neck and neck game. It was game 3. He was at negative like a bunch. Like he was pretty much like dead, but he had a Platinum Angel out, and I had no interaction to Platinum Angel at the time. Meanwhile, he had Path to Exile on an Isochron Scepter. So like every time I got a dude out, he was just like, "Yeah, we'll path it, we'll path it, we'll path it." So like I was on like the turn before dying, and I drew this, and I was like, I called a judge, and I was just like, I just need to ask a ruling on something. So if he does the Isochron Scepter thing, could I commandeer it? I didn't tell. I was like, if that happens, could I do this? I was sitting there telling them, and then it was like, yeah, you can. So game goes on. I get a dude out, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna Ice Scepter Path to Exile your guy, and I'm like, 7 mana, hard cast Commandeer, gain control of that. You're pathing that Platinum Angel, and he was just like, dude was pissed. Dude was so mad. And it was crazy because I went in with the game loss because turns out you couldn't play City of Brass in old extended. And this was right before Modern was announced. Like this was like one of the last GPs. So for extended, which is an older format. I know. Either way it goes, I like Commandeer, near and dear to my heart. Great, great card. I highly suggest you checking it out and possibly using it in Commander, because you never know. You can steal so many things with that spell. It's so great. You can steal counter spells with that spell and have it target Commandeer. It's that dumb. Let's see. We went over counter spells. Cyclo Rift. This is the one deck that I definitely have that plays Cyclo Rift. I think I have one other deck that might play it. We'll figure it out. But yeah. Deadly Rollick, Fierce Guardianship, like for our free spells right now. Filter Out, I really like this card. I like just the nuance of this card. Return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their own hand. This could do some work out of nowhere. Plus, it's also an instant. It's like baby Cyclo Rift, except not for dudes. And this could actually it could swing some games depending on what's on the field. So don't underestimate it. This is like budget Cyclo Rift, except for it doesn't hit dudes. So definitely something I would say consider, in like thoughts. Force of negation, of course. Hogger Mulling, I need to switch that out for the new one in Modern Horizons because it's just a lot better. Like, only reason why I'm even like using this card even more is because I got a foil full art and like, yeah, it's so pretty, but it's like, man, like the Modern Horizons one, the uncommon one is so much better. So much better. So much better. March of Swirling Mist. Um, this is kind of a pet card of mine in Kamigawa between that and Boseiju. If you know, you know. But like anytime I saw those, like whenever they were coming out, like I traded heavily for almost every channel land, especially Boseiju and Adawara, and March of Swirling Mist specifically. Like this card is dumb. It puts in work. It does so much. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. I would suggest it. Highly suggest it. Um, Memory Plunder. Memory Plunder is just, hey, let's steal something from their graveyard. Steal a good spell. It's not bad. Press the enemy. This card has impressed me like a lot. Like you can sit there and just stop something from happening and then you get to cast an instant or sorcery for free. So it's like you like automatically you stop something and then get to play something else. And then with Lord of the Nazgul out, it's like, oh, and I'm gonna get not one, but at least two wraiths. So it's like, yo, this situations, but it puts in work. It really does. It's a great card. Reality Shift, very underrated removal spell. Super great. It also exiles stuff. Like I say, get them, get them, get them, get them. Budget removal. Soren's Ransom. I like that card. It's a very different factor fiction, but it's a factor fiction plus the ring tempts me, which we already went over Nazgul's. C double. C double is pretty fun because of the fact that it can't be copied, but it has two different like versions of it. I did mention this in Riku because I believe it is also in my Riku deck. That was on another DTF, so y'all go check it back, run it back, and check that out. Um, but you can copy target spell, or you can create a token that's a copy target creature. 90% chance it's usually a Nazgul in this deck. So it's like, yo, we do the things. Shieldred's Edict, super good. Instant, does so much, does all the work. It hits everybody but me. Snuff out, self explanatory, free removal. But that was like the, oh my goodness, this was Deadly Rollick before Deadly Rollick. Super good. And then Sublime Epiphany does all the things. It does everything. Our planeswalkers, we're going to go over them before hitting the sorceries. We got regular Kaito and Kaito Dancing Shadow. I mean, they're both good, personally speaking. If when I really like, as I'm going through these decks, I haven't changed them in so long. So, like, a lot of them, I'm like, yeah, we're going to have to do like a refresh of some of these Deck Tech Fridays and just be like, okay, so we're gonna make a list of all the cards that we made changes since then because like I had made changes to this deck in a minute, and there's been some newer things coming out, and that's with like all the past ones too, except for like maybe Voja, and even then, like I think Bloomborough, it got Bloomborough cards, but it didn't get any Duskmorn cards, so it's like like a lot of my decks don't change. They don't change, and I need to go back and make some changes to them, especially Hamza. Oh my God, Hamza needs some work. Let's go through the sorceries. We got Breach the Multiverse, uh, dumb card. It's we play big dumb spells in this, as you already see. Like we got Breach the Multiverse, Damnation, of course, it's a Wrath, Echoing Return. This is you would be. This is like there's several different decks I would suggest Echoing Return for specifically. Like this with the Nazgul, if you're playing any of like the Relentless Rat Colony decks, Like echoing return becomes like a like bare minimum 2 to 3 to 4 for 1. So it's like, hey, let me get all these back. Yeah. Very cheap common. That's just like it's honestly like one of the best things when like somebody's like, oh yeah, I done destroyed the field like so many times and I done rabbited so many times, and I'm just like, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 Nazgul in the graveyard, echoing return, and they're just like, it's dumb. It's dumb. Feed the swarm. Great removal spell, but we got it. Then got power crept, with Duskmorn with that new one, and we need to put that new one in here. Haunting Voyage, another one that's just like, hey, look, guess what? We're gonna get all my wraiths back, and get all these Nazgul at once, and it's just like, yeah. And then if you have Masquerade Nexus out, and it's just like, yeah, let's do the thing. Um, Kindred Dominance, blow up all non-wraiths. Like, let's go. Raise the Palisade. That's another good one. Bounce all non-wraiths. We're gonna do the thing. Reanimate, self-explanatory. Subjugate the hobbits. Now this card, I don't know how. Every time I play this card, I get away with the most and just steal like all sorts of things. It's just like, what did you just do? Did you just take all like my field? And I'm like, yeah, we kind of just did that, and now I've got a whole army at my disposal to do whatever I want to do. It's so good, and it's budget. It's budget. It's a good card. You might want to check it out. Toxic Deluge, self-explanatory. It's another path. Our land suite is pretty decent. We got Watery Grave. We got the Black Gate, which I mean was more in there for Lord of the Rings theme. Um, but it can also help. Six swamps. Um, by swamps and islands from here. If you looked at my video before last, actually the video talking about the special Dustmorn bundle, the Nightmare bundle, and I show off the Phyrexian bundle. And I was like, yeah, I did get like a couple more of them. I just got one unopened. The lands from that are all my swamps and all my islands. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta like do nice. Yeah. Sunken Hollow, Shipwreck Marsh. Like a lot of the blue black duels, Secluded Courtyard, Rogue's Passage, which sneaks up on everybody. I think it's just a land that a lot more people should run, especially they're running like any type of like good combat stuff. Like like you can catch somebody off guard with that Secluded Courtyard. I'm just saying, Reliquary Tower, Path of Ancestry. Um, is that the good one? Yeah, Path to Ancestry is the good one. Opal Palace is the one that like nobody runs anymore. Morphic Pool, great card. 6 islands. Having Ghoul Laboratory, this card I have been pretty high on lately. Like especially if you have something that already makes clues for you, because you could sit there and like just reanimate something and flip this and like it's reanimator and it's another reanimator thing that could come out of nowhere and just like slowly but surely win you a game. It's just you need all, and it's budget. It's budget. It's budget. It's budget. Field of Ruin. I'm always a proponent of blowing up target lands. You know, I'm not really a mass land blow upper, but blowing up target lands, yeah. You know, never know when somebody runs a cradle. I wonder who does that. We got Drought Catacombs, Dark Slick Shores, Clearwater Pathway, Cavern of Souls. You know, Cavern of Souls. Hey, somebody else runs blue. You're just like prepared for them. Castle Lothwaite, Bojuka Bog. Oh my goodness, like the OG, just get rid of a graveyard. You never know when you got to. You never know when you got to. And then Ash Barrens, the good just get what I need, get what on my colors I need. And that is ball with a Wraith. Like, yo, like this deck, I love the mess out of this deck. Like this deck it surprises me almost every time I play it because it catches people off guard. It's very just like it's a reactive deck, but it's also like we're doing things, but we're not doing things. It definitely like you know, floats on the radar scale and then all of a sudden pops out and shows them, like it's such a good deck. And I'm wondering, what do you like about it? What changes would you make? What would you do differently? I know there's a lot of changes. Like I'm looking at the deck. I played with it last night and won with it. It was great, but there's still some changes I would make. Like I don't really need either of the Kaitos in there, and there's some new stuff that I'm like, yo, these would go nice in this deck. So like we gotta sit there and do some research and get some new cards. It's the big thing. But either way it goes, I hope y'all had a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe as always. If you get a chance, like let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your ideas. Let me know some suggestions on what you want to see next. Soon I'm gonna start building some new stuff. I got a really, really cool idea about the Marvel Secret Lair thing that I'm going to share with y'all next week. I will do that video next week because stuff and things. I'm gonna try to do something about whatever happens at Magic Vegas this weekend. If you're going, be safe, have fun. I wish I could be there, but your boy has to go to work. In fact, I'm at work right now, kind of. Yeah, we're doing what we got to do. Hey, we got to do what we got to do. But either way it goes, hey, I hope y'all have a very, very blessed day. Um, Remember, as always, it is all about the gathering, period. Hey, holla at your boy. Peace.